I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. Come here. I'm going to get him. Come here, you. Come here. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. Come here. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him, Mama. I'm going to get this boy. I go this way. I'm going to go this way. Ha ha! I'm going to go this way. Come here. Come here. Oh, wow. I'm going to go this way. Ha ha! I'm going to get him. Come here, you. Whoa.
Play on the field. 4th down situation for the Chargers.
That's my boy. That's my boy. That's my boy, guys. Don't you show off.
Pass complete to number 15.
Don't you do
Ellie
that.
Morrow takes it in for a touchdown, Chargers.
Very nicely done. And here we are live on both of the platforms. Hi to hello, everybody. Lester and Jamie here, and it's a pleasure to see you all.
Hey, y'all. I was like, what do you want me to say? Hey, y'all. Happy Sunday evening. It feels really weird to say we made it, but when I tell you that this weekend has been packed full of things, I'm packed full of things. It's the first 2 days in a row that I have not had to leave. And I feel so accomplished.
You mean not have to leave as far as driving to A&M back and forth every day?
Yeah, or a doctor's appointment or go do Lex stuff or kid stuff. Like, it was the first time where it was things that we could focus on.
So
normalcy.
What you're saying is we had our first normal weekend.
Yeah, it was
in
the
a
first
while.
normal weekend. And to be real, Lex has been here every weekend since June. So it was like, it was the first weekend of like normalcy. And I have a confession. I took a nap.
Oh, yeah, I got it on video. So there's no way you can.
You got it on video?
Most people already know. So let's just go ahead and yes, you did have a nap. We are back to normal. Let's just go ahead and first start off by telling everyone that, offering Jake and Lissa our congratulations.
Absolutely. We are so excited for Jake and Lissa to have given birth, and for little, I don't know if they're going to call him Jacob Jr., if they're going to call Jakey.
We're going to call him Jakey.
Okay.
I don't know what they're going to call him. We're going to call him Little Jakey.
Okay. So for little Jakey to have come into this world, if you have been paying attention to Shirtless Jake or Life with Lissa blog, he's just beautiful and precious, and we are so glad that Mom and baby are doing really well. And Jake. I heard Jake had a little traumatic event as well. Maybe two.
What do you mean? I don't know this story. All I know is that I said, Jake, count the toes, count the fingers. And he goes, they're all 12 are there. I'm like, okay, you're fine. Congratulations. Talk to you later. All 12 are there. All 12 are there. So I think he's good.
Jake saw things that I don't think that he was prepared to see.
Hold on. So don't talk about it if we're not allowed to talk about it.
I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay.
He talked about it in a video.
Oh, so if he talked about it, it's good to go. Yeah.
So, but Jake saw things that apparently he was not expecting to see. And then he almost volunteered to change the first diaper. And I saw that in a video too. So I'm repeating only what the public has seen.
Yeah, we just don't want to give away anyone else's content.
Absolutely
but if
not.
it's already been videoed, then it's been videoed. Yeah, no, I was there for both of my kids' birth. Now, you were there for yours, obviously.
Present. Check.
And now so this is funny. This is funny and it's not funny. I don't mean it to be mean. I'm not. So what I'm about to say is not going to come out right to everybody, but it's not meant to be mean. And you know that this is true. So an example is we have two Longhorns, Dolly and Reba, who both gave birth within the same couple of days, right? They have some beautiful baby, so cousins. However, the mama is very different. Their mothering is very different. Dolly is what we would kind of refer to as a helicopter mom. She's right there with her baby all the time. She doesn't trust anyone else to babysit. She's right there with her baby, whether that baby's napping or anything else. However, Reba is the kind that will drop her baby off and then hightail it for a little while. Now, I know that she keeps an eye on her baby. She keeps checking on it every once in a while. So, and the reason I bring this up is because with my two boys, Ellie's mom was very much of a dolly type or a helicopter mom. So I had to really, really try to get myself involved and try to find ways to do things because she was kind of a hands-off, I'll take care of this, my baby kind of a mom. And that's fine. However, Lex, his mom had already had a child before. So it wasn't her first rodeo. And she was by all means, go ahead, by all means. So in saying so, I have a whole lot more babying. Why am I ing tonight? Mama-ing, babying.
I don't know.
I have a whole lot more babying with Lex than I do with Ellie. Now, I was there for every step of the way, cutting the cord and doing all that a dad wants to do and be a part of. And yeah, you do see things. So what did Jake see that he hadn't seen before? Can you talk about it on a live without getting us in trouble?
So this is already in Jake's video, so I'm going to take it that I'm allowed to talk about it.
Okay.
So they had to do a C-section, and Jake looked over the curtain. And so I'm not sure. I don't know anything about Brinley's birth story or anything like that, but I predict that there were surgical things that he saw on top of what he discussed that he saw. And he saw two doctors working very hard to get that baby out, basically. And he's probably not going to be able to unsee that for a while.
No, you don't unsee things like that. Well, we're glad the baby's healthy. We're glad to see both Jake and Lissa seem to be doing fine. We've not seen the baby. We're going to wait until they come home and give them a couple of days. We're not going to be like those people who are just going to show up and just want to hold.
Oh my gosh.
And don't forget how hard it is on babies. Because a baby, when they first start getting passed around, people don't realize how they can become sensitive and they get very sore. And a lot of the reason why babies have a hard time is because they've been passed around. Everyone wants to hold that baby differently. And it's not always easy for babies. So we will get a chance to visit with that little guy at some point, but we haven't as of yet, besides what we've seen in videos.
But I'm excited to because Lissa sent me, I sent Lissa a text that said, he's beautiful, so happy, that he's here and hope that you're doing, the normal things that girls do back and forth. And she replied and she said, thanks, Aunt Jamie. And I was like, but did you know that you're actually a great uncle? Not good, great. You didn't know that?
I mean,
like you already were to Carter and Cash.
Yeah.
And to Alora.
Yeah, but you know what? That's just kind of getting technical. Who cares? I'm just Uncle Wetter. We're not going to say I'm Uncle Wetter.
Like it's crazy to think of. I look at them as just part of us, right? Especially Lissa, who I hang out with, everything like that. I don't think about the generation difference in there and how old that we actually are.
Yeah. So what I played on YouTube, I wasn't able to play it for the up and down audience, but on the side by side, the sideways audience got a snippet of both of my boys. Obviously Lex from just a little young man, and then Ellie. We lost most of Ellie's footage in the flood of Hurricane Harvey. So everyone knows that story already. We're not going to go through all of that, but all of my computers, all of my files, all of my pictures were all lost in Hurricane Harvey flooding. So I don't have a whole lot on LE that was prior to, except for the things I had uploaded to YouTube. How crazy that I've had a YouTube since 2009. And there were videos that I had uploaded to YouTube that obviously survived because they're like floating around up there. Like,
well, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I'm jealous of, okay. So let me gently talk about this. I'm jealous of a time where videos are of the norm and you don't have to carry around some video camera that you rented with a VCR tape inside of them to capture moments, where it's just part of you and at your fingertips every day. Because I think that there are videos of Xander on a VHS tape. Where that VHS tape is, I don't know, but it would be so like time specific, like a baptism or things like that. It wouldn't be just like a normal everyday moment. And I'm envious, maybe jealous isn't the right word, of even that the things that you have of Lex and Ellie that I don't have. I have pictures. I have tons and tons and tons of pictures, but I don't have digital. Really didn't come into my life until Xander was probably 10 or so. And even then, it still wasn't like there weren't clouds or things that I knew about then. And I don't have the same things that you have or that this baby will have of a digital book of his life to look back on. And
well,
I think
as
that's
long
special.
as here's the downfall. Now, obviously, like I said, I lost all of my hard copied pictures of LE and all of the videos that were on CD or DVD with the hurricane flood. But anything on a hard copy is something that is tangible. But think about it, how many people have things on their phone, but if they lose their phone or if they end up losing their computer, then they lose everything.
Which is what I'm also saying is because I had work phones over the years where I know there were pictures and clips on, but when that phone went bad or died or whatever, like at that point in time, it wasn't, they died with the phone basically.
Yeah. You didn't always transfer all them pictures and stuff over. You just thought you'd have them on your phone, so you have them. And it's kind of sad, but like I said, so as long as there's Facebook and YouTube, Jake and them will have plenty of pictures. But I hope that Lisa will also take the baby to get those hard pictures like they used to do in the old days, where you actually take the baby somewhere or have a photographer come out and do a photo shoot.
How different in times though, because is there still a JCPenney photo studio?
Well, I don't know, but the thing is, Lex has never had an actual photos taken like with Santa or any of those kind of things.
Because you have video.
Because we have video. There's video of me being Santa sneaking in with to surprise Lex. So I mean, it's very different now compared to how it was. So I mean, hey, but it's not our baby. So I think that the number one thing that Jake's going to have to be careful about is remembering that that's a baby. And the way he'll get on that side-by-side or the way he does on his four-wheeler or doing things, that's a baby. That's a baby.
Well, that's where Alyssa comes
Don't be
into
putting
play.
that baby on top of Mood. Don't be putting that baby on top of...
That's where Alyssa comes into play. The
Lord,
voice
that's a
of
baby.
the mother, the voice of reason coming in hot there.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I had Xander very young. I was 20 years old and very naive about life in general and feel like I spent so much time working to survive and to try to make a life for us that I feel like I missed out on a lot. And I am envious of people who didn't have to do those things, but also that's the cards that were dealt in there. But I think about even Brienne getting to stay home with her kids every day. She might not feel like she gets to stay home with her kids. But I'm envious of that because the memories and the things that she's instilling in those kids they're forever, she has so much influence and the family all around them have so much influence. And I feel like I miss that. I don't know how, you worked all the time. I guess you also were home in the summer, so it made a big difference.
Well, and then as a teacher, so you have to travel for work. As a teacher, we never traveled. So even during my coaching seasons, I'm still home, unless it's game night, I'm still home by 5:30 or 6. And so you have plenty of, 2 or 3 hours with your kiddos in the afternoons, every weekend, every summer, all summer. So no, I am fortunate that as a teacher, I had a lot of time with my kiddos. And then don't forget, because we were both teachers, I'm also at school with my kids a lot. Not in my classroom, but I'm seeing my kids around school. And then this is always a funny story to me, but it's not supposed to be funny. But that Ellie's mom and I, when we divorced and chose to go our separate ways, even though you had a court decree, I was able to beat the system in the fact that I was always Ellie's coach or assistant coach to his YMCA teams, or I was always available to pick him up from school, take him to his coaching, take him from coaching to get something to eat, then back to the house. So even though I may not have been court decreed to be there every day, Ellie didn't miss a day with Dad, not a day, because of the fact that he was so involved in sports and school activities, and I was right there, So that was kind of neat. So Now, being divorced from Maria, Lex's mom, has been more difficult because she did move quite a ways, and it's not right down the road or right around the corner. So that's been a little bit more challenging. So we got to take things with Lex and just really, we got to really live on those weekends. And I think that we do a good job at that.
Yeah, it is. I think that's the other part is like you get so like for me raising Xander, there was a time I worked 3 jobs, but you get so busy like trying to make a life that you forget about all of those tiny special things. And maybe it's because I'm older now and I've had time to like realize that those are all lessons, but like you're in a hustle mode at some point, especially, you know, as a single mom. I had to do that, but in those times and in those things, we still built things. But whenever I asked Xander about like what were some of your special times and favorite moments, they were so tiny that I didn't realize them. And I like when I think about people now, I'm gonna get emotional. Having a baby, those tiny moments matter.
Yeah, and I think most people who are already our age or even older probably think back to 1,000 things you wish you would have done a little bit different. And no matter how much time you spend with your kiddos, we all wish we had done this a little bit different or that little bit different. And
well, I mean, like just even the things that you do with Lex, I feel guilty that I didn't do them with Xander. I feel guilty that I didn't play golf in the yard or didn't go when he asked to go out in the snow, that I didn't go, that I stayed inside because I was going to work while he went and played, or that I didn't go swimming when the water was freezing, things like that, that I always thought I'll do it next time. And they're just next time just kept getting pushed off.
And now he's a 21-year-old man.
Yeah, so. No, he's 21 and has a house and calls and is like, I cut down a tree and got all my firewood chopped up and I'm putting in a dog fence and I went and got the permit myself. And I'm like, oh my God, like I missed it, you know?
I forgot what we were doing. We were on the road and Xander was going to tackle his own, I don't know if it was sink or his toilet repairs. And he was in the crawl space trying to figure out this and that. And he's trying to FaceTime his mom on what do I do here and what do I do here. So even though you say that you weren't there for certain moments, you're there now. And he needs you as much now because he wasn't calling his dad saying, what do I do here? Or what do I do with this? He wasn't calling his uncle saying, what do I do here? What do I do? And so I'm with you a lot when those phone calls come in. And whenever you get a FaceTime, you always know Xander's doing a project. It's always a project. And he wants to brag about when he's built his fire pit.
But he's always doing a project too. Like it's never just like hanging out or sitting around or things like that. Like he's very, and yeah, he's very due.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. So, and I will still say this, that I still hope to one day create ourselves a place, be it the JL or somewhere where we can create our very own little Morrow Hill. So Xander, whenever he's finally done with that Illinois lifestyle, and whenever Ellie and Megan are finally had enough of Plum Grove and Lex finally gets out of school and ready to settle down, we can have our very own Morrow Hill with all of our kids and our grandkids living amongst us and around us. Wouldn't that be fun? And you can do all them things with all them grandkids. Your grandkids, Jamie, your grandkids. I'm
not ready for grandkids.
Don't say, you just now said, I wish I would have done this and wish I would have done that with Xander. I don't want grandkids. I ain't want no grandkids. You don't want to be called Granny. You don't want to be called Granny. You can do like I'm going to do. They're going to call me Pappy.
I thought you said Elwood.
Oh yeah, Elwood. Dang it. I don't know. Pappy sounds pretty good too, though. I'm excited about being called a name. I don't know. It's not going to be Grandpa. It's not going to be Pops or Pawpaw. No, it's going to be something fun and hip. Elwood might be good. So, anywho.
I'm not ready for that yet. I look at our kids and I think about how young I was and how much that I missed out on and then felt this need to catch up on later in life of the things for me. Even still to this day, I feel guilty for doing it. Even taking that nap today, I felt guilty for doing that for me. So I want them to take their time and do it when they're ready and to not feel pressured. And that goes for Ellie and Megan. That goes for Xander and Kendra. Like, I want them to do what feels right to them and what's on their own journey with no social pressures or pressures from us.
Oh no, we're not trying to force them to have kids. We're saying, hey, take your time, take all the time that you need. Well, and then what age did you have Xander? Don't forget, I
20.
didn't. At the age of 20, you already had a son. See, I was already 27 whenever LE was born. So I was already older, already established, and I wasn't trying to make a career. I'd already in my career.
Which makes a big difference in your availability.
Oh, yeah. If I
things you're
were
doing too.
any younger, and I don't know how much, but if I was much younger, it wouldn't have been the same. It would have been a whole lot different of me, you know. So anyway, we're very blessed. Jake and Lissa are blessed to have a baby in the family. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger too. And we're so blessed that it's healthy and everything seems to be going well. So good for them.
And we can't wait to meet him.
No, can't wait to meet him. And then let's talk about the lady here from Australia. And I'm so sorry. I don't mean it in a mean or a negative way. I will not be that guy.
I know where you're going.
I will
with
not
this,
be that guy.
But I know where you're going with this.
Well, number one, I'm surprised if you're in Australia, you're even awake right now. What time is it in Australia?
It's like 2:30 in the morning, isn't it?
No, that's in the UK. So if it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. So 6 hours so it's that time in the UK. But Australia is like 14. So it's probably daylight for them. It's morning time. And I bet you they're all out practicing for the Olympic gold.
It's 11:30 a.m. there.
11:30 a.m.
Hold on.
And I bet you all the Australians are out practicing to win Olympic gold.
Lester has a proposition that he doesn't even know about yet. I'm gonna propose this, that Lester join the Australian Olympic team.
So first of all, we're not making fun of anybody. That's, social media is a place where people go to make fun these days. We get made fun of all the time, but we're not making fun. I actually admire the lady for having the guts to go out there on the Olympic stage and compete. And what I found out is that she's actually a professor she's a professor and she teaches like cultural arts. And I don't really know what cultural arts mean, but I think it must mean like cultural arts. And one of those cultural arts is she must have found herself at some point breakdancing or teaching breakdancing, or at least teaching the art of breakdancing. I don't know the details. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. No one seems to be laughing or no one seems to be joining in on the conversation. I don't know if people even know about this, Jamie.
So I wouldn't have known.
The kangaroo getting hit by the car, breakdance. Oh, yeah, we know. We ain't laughing at her, though. We're just laughing at some of the moves.
So I'm actually laughing more so what people have done on social media to turn that into like to match music to it and to like the creativity around that.
Just 1 second. Okay. There's so many people who have no idea what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So all I'm going to tell you is I cannot pull it up. We can't do that because we have two different devices here. Sorry. But what you can do on your own, very easy, is later when we're done here, you go to your internet, go to Google or wherever you search, and you simply type in Australia breakdance Olympics. That's all you got to type in. I promise you, that's all you got to type in.
All I can say
and it's going to pop. No, okay. So someone says the Olympics are over. Guys,
you can still see it.
You can still see the Olympic contest with the lady breakdancing from Australia.
All I'm going to say is, how did breakdancing become an Olympic event, first of all?
Oh, the Olympics are still growing. They're still trying to find more sports. I do believe that in 2028, they're going to include Frisbee, flag football, and a whole list of other sports they're going to include. So the Olympics are trying to include and become more inclusive of everybody.
I saw a video clip that I sent you of those cowboy Olympics or the ranch hand Olympics, and now I want to know, will the Olympics consider something like that? And would you want to participate in the breakdancing or the ranch hand Olympics?
Oh, you mean like amongst family?
Yeah.
Oh, amongst family, I'll do either one.
Wait, you don't want to go? You don't want to go to the Olympics?
Yeah,
I think you could have won.
I'm probably not going to go to the Olympics.
I think you could have won. You could totally represent Australia and make them have a total comeback.
The Australians may not want to see the red rapper, Jamie. They may not want to. they may not want to see the old red rapper. If I do the kangaroo, The red rapper, the red rapper, the red rapper, the red rapper.
All I know is that
I love you, Australians. From all the folks down under, we're not laughing at you. I swear we're not. We're not even laughing at that sweet lady. We're not. We laughed with her. Well, even though she didn't laugh, though. She didn't laugh. Well, we laugh with everybody else laughing. You know what? Let's just what, Jamie? Talk. Hurry.
we are probably behind the times on what breakdancing has evolved to. That's what I'll say. Breakdancing to us meant something a little bit different.
Well, I think that you're right.
You're an Olympic fence builder, Lester.
Oh, there you go. An
now,
Olympic
if that
fence
was a
builder.
sport, you can bet you're behind.
Wow. Now that's something we
compete.
need to include that though in your farm Olympics for the Morrow Hill farm and it would be real simple. Stretching, wire, running a short, simple. Man, this is gonna be so good, Jamie.
Pole digging, post hole
Post
digging,
hole
concrete,
digging.
the bunny hop.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that, Jamie. People don't know any idea what you're talking about, the bunny hop.
They do. I bet you some people know about the bunny hop.
Okay, who can tell us what is Lester's idea of the bunny hop when it comes to fence building? And it's not a 60s dance move or a 40s or a 50s dance move. The bunny hop, Lester style, is something that we do, something that I've learned with fence building. And I don't know if anyone is going to remember those kind of videos, Jamie. Yes, well, not really.
The cement. Yep.
Okay, Marion.
They know.
I missed it. The very first person to say something was a lady named Miriam, I believe. And it is to do with the concrete. Thank you. It's when you only have two hands and you need three or even four.
It could have doubled as that kangaroo move, to be real with you. Like, it's very similar.
I laugh so much, and Jamie and I will sometimes when we find ourselves watching a short or a reel or a TikTok or whatever, we will send them to each other if we get a good laugh. We like to share a good laugh, and some things that make me laugh don't make Jamie laugh, and vice versa. But that is one that we have both laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed.
I came out of the bathtub one night and I was like, "Did you?" He goes, "You're watching the Australian, aren't you?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yes." What is it? Like, I was like, am I so far removed that I didn't get it? Because it looks more like a interpretive dance than breakdancing is what I'll say.
She's a college professor, so she may have been doing some kind of a interpretive dance, but she did score last place. Poor lady. I know, but you know what? I don't even. Here's the crazy thing. I don't even know who won gold.
I didn't watch but I didn't watch anybody else. Did you watch anybody else?
I don't even know any other competitors. So one thing about that sweet lady is that she's known around the world now through her break dancing. They know her name, they know her street name, and all the things about her. And she got last place in the Olympics.
This lady says the 2028 Olympics will be held in LA, as in Los Angeles?
Yes, LA, yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They will be in LA.
Do you want to go?
Which is another reason why I will not be going. I will not be leaving the state of Texas unless it's going to be to
go visit New York City.
No, I will not go. I'm nothing against Californians or New Yorkers, but those are two states that I do not want to visit because of the crowds, because of the traffic. That's all I'm saying. That's the only two reasons why I don't want to visit either one of them states. But take me somewhere quiet and peaceful with either a pool or a hot tub and a bar, and I'll be good for a little getaway.
So we're not going to my grandma's? You better be careful. She's probably watching.
I know. I'm not going to say anything.
A lot of people are asking about Voodoo. I think.
Are you going to start answering questions already? Is it time for questions and answers?
I just feel like that's necessary to die. I mean, I'm going to talk about him because I've been living it and breathing it, but I think he had a pretty good weekend, don't you? Yeah.
So Houston does have traffic, but guess what? We don't live in Houston. Now we may be in that area or that zip code, or we're in that zone, but we only deal with humidity. Okay, we only share humidity with Houston. I just don't know if once we start questions.
Well,
then
I wanted to talk about
one thing's going to lead to another, and we're going to be on a Voodoo trip for the next hour or 30 minutes anyway.
We're not.
Okay.
I just feel like I needed to address that because I spent so much time with them. I think he had a pretty good weekend. I do have a little bit of a conundrum coming out tomorrow that I want your advice on. Don't be mean, though. I even say it in my video, don't be mean to me.
Please don't be mean.
Because it's really hard to put yourself out there and be really vulnerable in this space. And I even vented to Lester about this weekend. I was like,
I think I may have talked about it. You don't even know about this.
Oh.
Well, no, I've only mentioned on a couple of lives that people have been really mean to you this weekend.
They have. They've been awful to me. And what I have told him is like, I want input and experience or thoughts about what to do, but I also am terrified to put anything out there at all. So I'm being very vulnerable tomorrow in my video, asking for advice. So can you just play nice in the sandbox, please? Because
yeah,
please.
So, here's the whole thing, Jamie. Now, this goes to advice on anything. And so everyone screams and hollers about topics that they don't want you to discuss. Don't bring that up. Don't bring this up. We don't live our life that way, friends. We are transparent in the fact that, well, we always joke and say that we live in a glass house. And when you are a family who put yourself onto social media, then we already know that you're going to see things that we don't get to see in your life.
Yeah.
But we choose to share ours with you. It's a choice that we make. And in saying so, it's hard sometimes to remember that, hey, we put ourselves out there. This is what we have to deal with. But it's like the lady who went to the Olympics. She put herself out there and she has to kind of live with now all of the things that go along. But I bet you right now she's not watching the internet, reading all these comments and having the best time. She's probably kind of, But yeah, you guys just be kind. Just learn to find ways to be critical, but you can also be kind in those.
I guess I always say, like, my responses are things that I would say to someone's face, and you can still be direct and you can still be matter of fact without being mean and hurtful. You don't have to throw in like a little dig at the end of it and be like, I don't know why they have animals anyway. They have no business having any animals. And by the way, you did this wrong and that wrong and all of these things. And just like, you could have said, hey, Jamie, a better way to do this would be X, Y, Z. And there are a lot of people who did those things, but I'll tell you what, like, I've always said that the horse world is the meanest world to live in.
Well, can you give an example of what you're going to do in your video that you're going to ask advice about? Or you're just going to make people wait and have to see it tomorrow?
I'm more so asking about next steps.
Okay.
And in that video, I'm just sort of like, I'm trying to show some of my reasoning why I think what's next is important, but also wanting to know if anybody's had experience with that situation before. That's all. I'm not sticking my finger in the wound, and I'm not ever showing that again, because that was like the most. I got like horrible messages. I'll just say that.
Well, here's the thing. So let me go ahead and just say it the way it is with wound care. So we have treated plenty of wounds, everything from the dogs we've rescued to helping, I guess that's not a wound, but helping deliver babies, from goats to cows to
all the horses have had other wounds and stuff that we may or may not have ever talked about.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, what we did and what you did before we left A&M was watched, and they made sure that we saw how they did it. And we tried to copy that as close as we could. But remember, we don't live in a sterilized facility. We're the actual farm or the actual ranch.
Which I said to A&M. I was like, hold on. We have dirt. We have a lot of dirt. And they're like, we know. It's okay.
Yeah, they were very aware of who we are and what our plans were and where Voodoo is going to be going home to and the other horses. And ultimately, it come down to mental health. Yeah. Voodoo needed to go home for his mental health. And if it had been up to us, we would have probably kept driving.
I would have kept driving.
We would have kept driving every day.
And paying and everything else.
And yeah, that bill would have been even double what it is, because we probably felt more worried that we weren't going to be able to do it right. So here we are trying, taking a leap and trusting the vet, saying, hey, your horse he's not himself. He's having issues here. He's not one to be stalled. And so the other horses there, most of those other horses there, I'm sorry if this hurts someone's feelings, but most of the horses there were stall horses. They're the kind of horses who are living stalls their whole lives, and they're used to stalls, and they sit there and they stare out the window. I don't know what they're thinking, but Voodoo he's just stir crazy. And anyone who is also needs to be moving, needs to be seeing things, that feeling. And if you sit around too long, you will start having issues up here in the head. And Voodoo was having issues. He was not happy, and he was becoming depressed, and it was time to move him. So it's kind of like the lesser of two evils, if you think of it that way. We leave him there because we're so scared of infection. And so he suffers here with us, or we go ahead and bring him home and we take our chances and we do the best that we can. And so guess what? We brought him home to do the best that we can. And our best is not good enough for a lot of people. But hey,
Lester just bows out and he's like, "That's you. You're all up."
No, to take it back. I've helped
as
you.
As far as videos go.
Well, hold on. You've asked me, and we agreed that I would not video Voodoo. I would leave that content to you. I'm like preaching that to everybody right now, Jamie. I'm preaching.
You don't want anybody to be mean to you. Come on, that's the truth.
I watch and I help and I hold the flashlight if it's nighttime, and I help do whatever you need me to do.
I will say, I have to show this.
I'm not the one putting my fingers and doing all the things.
So I had to find something that was special to Voodoo that was not like high in calories or something big. He's actually having some problems with swallowing things due to the injury itself and his esophagus. So I know that he's had these before, but now I have created such a routine that he has full expectations of something at the end of it. And it's these little soft mints right here. And Voodoo, if I have one like in my pocket, or this is really embarrassing, I will shove it in my bra if I'm wearing a dress without pockets. He knows that if he does all of his things, that he's going to get one of those at the end of all that we're doing. And he is full-blown addicted to these little soft mints. They're not hard, little peppermints. These are like soft, melt in your mouth little peppermints. But he is so excited to find that. I actually took a couple of them and you don't know this. I crushed a few up today and put them in his hay so that he could do a little
moving around a little bit.
Moving around and a little bit of mental things or whatever for him to find some of those. And he is so in love with these things. My question is, why do they wrap them individually?
Oh my God.
Why do they have to be wrapped? Why can't I just have a bag?
Hot, they'll just mold into one. You don't want them to melt into one. I'm going to say something real fast. A sweet lady on here. I'm sorry, ma'am. I missed your name and I missed a lot of what you were saying, but she had a form of brain cancer, and it left her in the hospital for over 3 months.
Oh my God.
And at some point she and her doctors talked, and they agreed to let her go home to heal, even though there was a lot of things that had to be done. She wasn't ready to go home, but she was ready to go home.
Yeah.
She's like, let me go home. I can't sit here anymore. I can't be here anymore. And so, ma'am, I'm sorry I didn't find your name. It went by so fast, but I just did a little speed reading. But yeah, I do agree that being home to heal is probably a lot easier, even though it may not be as sterile and you don't have everyone putting hand sanitizer on all the time.
They have found that about patients in hospitals too. Like there's a thing called hospital acquired pneummonia, and it's from laying around and from not being up and functioning amongst the other, there's germs in the hospital because other people are sick in the hospital. But Voodoo, I think he's doing a lot better now that he's home. Like, we have a routine. We're really working through all of those steps. I just know that there's got to be like next things, and that's where I'm seeking advice. And I guess I'm also saying that if you find peppermints that aren't individually wrapped, could you send me a link? Because I'm not asking you to send me them. You don't have to send me them. I just want the link so I can figure out where I can buy them from, because Voodoo loves those.
Yeah, please don't send any here, because I'm telling you what would happen. They would melt in transport. They'd melt down by the road, and they would be no good once they got here. So please do not send any peppermints, friends.
So I love them too. In a weird way,
that's the truth right there.
I am glad that they are individually wrapped and so hard to open, so I don't sit here and eat them. But at the same time, like, I have found something small that makes him perk up, and
then tell the funny story about how when you went out one time, you didn't take any, how he was like, hey.
He was freaking out. He was like,
where's my mint? Where's
I had
my
to
mint?
walk all the way back in.
Oh, you didn't walk. She ran. You don't see Jamie running very often. And I'm like, what is she doing? I thought the hornets were after her. I thought she was being chased by bees. She's running. I'm like, what is the world?
No, I didn't.
She ran to get peppermints because,
I didn't realize that he was like, that was when I first realized that he was like, hey, I did my thing. Where's my reward? And about how much did he actually like them? So they've turned out to be a really big part of his days. I have not told the rest of the horses or donkeys about those
keep
because
them secret for as long as we can.
Yeah, that's a Voodoo special right now.
That's like a pig tree with her oatmeal kind of thing. Once they introduce to mints, that's all they're going to want. They don't want to eat anymore. And also, you haven't talked yet. I don't know if you have in a video or not about how long it takes Voodoo to eat. And how difficult it is for him to eat.
That's part of my video tomorrow.
Okay, I'll leave it alone. I will drop it.
But I did just talk a little bit about it. That he's having a hard time swallowing. We're having to soak his food, and that is an effect that the vets told us about. Cochran told me about it the night she was there, and the vets reassured us at A&M. They actually didn't feed him any grain at A&M and just said, let's do hay only. And then when they told me about reintroducing his grain, because he takes supplements and things like that he needs to continue to do. They just told me you're going to have to soak that for a while until he gets past this. And for a while could be forever, but is more likely about a 6 month. He has a really long journey ahead of him in this healing process.
It's kind of cute. We have a new viewer who's enjoying our show, but he's also enjoying harassing people on our show. Oh. And I don't know if you guys realize this. Jamie and I have more me than Jamie. So this is something that I found myself doing more and more. And I hate that I do this about catching other people's live videos. Listen, if you're on the Sideways platform and you're watching a live, if you take your phone and just scroll up, all of a sudden you're going to find yourself watching someone else's live who you don't follow. And I've learned that accidentally. And I'm like, whoa, who's this guy? And I do it again. Whoa, who's this guy? Or who's this girl? And that's how I run across a lot of things that I've run across. And as of yesterday, y'all would not believe how many videos, live videos of people doing what? Because I just told you about it. You forgot?
No, I didn't forget, because I feel like that's what you tried to do to me today.
Sleeping.
Yeah. Live videos
of people sleeping. And I'm like, why would, and there'd be like 35 people watching, 40 people watching. And I'm like, why would someone watch? And I'd go to that, and there's someone else sleeping on a live video with 18 people watching. And I start scrolling around, and then you catch the craziest things people do. One lady takes her phone with her to the casino, and she sets it up right there and watches. People are watching her play the little slot machines, and everything, all the little slot machines. Yeah, slot machines. And people are watching the craziest things. And I'm like, okay.
I told Lester, I was like, don't ever put me on a live sleeping. I'll probably like choke on my own, my own snore. But I'm just curious, like, why? I
don't know. Well, so this kind of goes back to something that we read about and that your Facebook person told you about. This is scary, y'all. This is not my kind of thing, but I'm thinking that more and more people are doing it now, and I hate it because to me it looks lazy and it looks like you just don't care. But what'd you call it again? Day trading. They call it day trading by putting yourself in someone else's shoes and see what they see. And so we talked about before the truck drivers, guys who use their dash cams, they link them to a live video, and these truckers just drive these big old trucks down the road, and people are watching them. They don't talk, moving through traffic, merging onto the highway, exiting at the truck stop. It is so strange, but that's what I've noticed. You go to all these live videos, and there's the craziest things that you see. Reason I bring that up is this crazy guy's jumped over here, and he's like, oh, here's an actual channel where people are talking. Let me harass everybody. He's just bored, y'all. If you just ignore him, he'll move on. Because
that day trading thing reminds me a little bit of the ASMR stuff. Elora was watching the backseat of the car.
Yeah.
Elora fell asleep in my car the other day, and those headphones fell down to her chin, which meant that I could hear everything that was going on. And whenever I parked at her house and Steph came out to get her, I'll look at the screen and it's someone like tapping and like opening and not like making a video of it. It like just sitting there doing these things. And it was ASMR noises that she turns on to intentionally fall asleep to. So I kept hearing like, and then like soft claps, or then like that noise, scratching noises.
Please don't
and I'm
stop.
like, what? And I kept thinking that she woke up and she was making those noises. No, it was a video that she turned on. So like there are so many levels of so many things.
Social media.
That are just wild.
Yeah. Someone said over here that the grossest thing they've ever run across is the pimple popping. Believe it or not,
I actually like watching
No, not me. But they have some of it's the craziest things how many people watch that and they are not grossed out by it.
Not grossed out.
I am.
I don't like a lot of the cis stuff, but I do like a good pimple popping video.
You know, something else that I can't stand that I know people will watch or listen to, or the chiropractors who will pop people's bones back into place.
I love it.
Pop, snap, and all of that.
An adjustment right now.
All of that just like gives me like the heebie-jeebies. I'm like,
I'm gonna have to call Dr. Baker and make an appointment.
I don't want to listen to that bones popping back into place.
I'm like sitting here like, oh, that would feel so.
I hate whenever Ellie and Megan pop their fingers, pop. Don't do that when I'm sitting here watching you. Pop,
he won't press on my back. I'm like, just give me a bear hug, just anything to like make my back. Just anything. It's like, it's so gross. It pops.
I hear it pop, and I'm afraid I'm going to be the reason it's going to pop in the wrong direction or something. And then she'll sometimes lay flat on the ground, right here on the kitchen floor.
I will crawl in the door and be like, just stand on me.
Right there where Millie and Fiona sleep. Here comes Jamie crawling along, and she's like, could you stand on my back? I'm like, oh my.
Dr. Baker probably have a heart attack if she knew that I did that.
Yeah, I stand on it, and I'm like, Jamie, you sure I'm a little heavier than what I was last time? She's like, just stand on it, and I stand up on it, and sure enough, pop! And she's okay, I'm good now. I'm like, weirdo.
Oh yeah, Dr. Baker. A lot of people are talking about her. She did get her truck stolen. You know that, right?
You told me.
So sad, so sad for her. But
which is why I'm glad we don't live in Houston.
She doesn't live in Houston.
Close enough.
I am going to go try to make an appointment to see her this week. What else you got?
Oh, I was just reading a lot of the comments about people who watch other internet sites. That is kind of crazy. One lady goes, I love to watch the slot lives because it brings back memories of when she used to go to the play slots. I don't know.
I think that I could be okay with watching the slots, but it would just make me want to go to a casino. I don't like. What do we go? Maybe once or twice a year,
if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Well, so hold on. So that was we used to go once a year, but now that we have a casino here in Livingston, now they only have slots. They don't have the card tables. Yeah. They don't have the roulette. They don't have all the stuff. What's it called? I don't know why. I cannot think. What in the world is that place called? Noskala Gaming. They don't have any alcohol there because it's a Native American indigenous people. So they serve no alcohol whatsoever. So you can get Dr. Peppers all you want. But what I love is they have gumbo. And
yeah, they do have amazing gumbo. I will say that's the best gumbo I've ever had.
Even if we're not going to play games, we'll just sometimes go and eat.
You could take me there this week. It's been like 2 months since we've been.
It's been a while.
Maybe 3. It's actually before summer,
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a long time. I could be down with going to the casino for some gumbo.
Well,
now can we answer questions, Lester?
Yeah, now we will absolutely answer questions. Okay, so now if you have questions and you want to ask those, you can go ahead and put those out here. We're in our final 10 minutes or so.
Are you going to do cardboard boat races again this year?
So we're a little bit torn on the date because there's a lot going on right now. And that's like 2 weeks away. And I don't think that
normally it's Labor Day weekend normally, but we're going to put out a feeler to the family, I think, and see what people think with Jake and Lissa just having a baby, and there is a ton going on. Just wondering if everybody wants to postpone it a little bit.
Yeah, we always have fun doing that, but don't forget how much time it takes everybody to create their boat, build their boat. Then of course coming over. I know that there's other things going on with family members, and this is between family, but there's a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
Things that you probably don't know about, and we're not going to sit here and talk about them, but just know that with every family, sometimes it's not easy for everybody to get out and about and do stuff. And so for us to say, hey, it's that time of year, cardboard boat races, knowing that not everyone is in a position or a place to get out and do that is kind of making us think we should probably just hold off for a little bit. Yeah. But our pond is looking pretty good. And we're going to do a little bit of, Jamie mowed the pasture today using a lawnmower.
Not all of it, though. Just, I told Lester, I came in and I said, I think I'm going to do an hour a night until it's done. And he goes, who looks forward to mowing?
No, when I mow, I want to get up there and get it done and be done with it. But she's like, no, I'm doing it an hour every afternoon until it's all done.
It's super thick, which we're incredibly blessed for, but I can't leave the clippings out there for the horses. So I have to like blow them to the edge, and I'm having to mow each strip like 4 times. I'm mowing it on the highest setting because I want it to be there, but there are things out there that are up to my waist, and it's time to give it a cut. Otherwise, we're going to have some parasite problems that they won't eat.
Yeah. So I don't want to make this into an instructional video, but obviously everyone knows that when your grass is too high, especially the Bahia grass that we like, it makes wonderful hay, but as it grows taller, it gets to be hard for animals to chew.
Yeah.
So you have to try to keep that stuff between 5 and 6 inches high enough to where I'm not going to go into the whole. I just said I'm not going to give a whole tutorial in an instructional video. So we want like our grass to be about this tall. It's good for horses because they eat the top of the grass. But when it's this tall, they can't really eat the part they want to eat. They have a really hard time navigating themselves around it.
Yeah.
There. How about that for instructional?
That was good. Stormy is doing well. We moved her ultrasound to tomorrow. We talked a little bit about that on yesterday's live, but for those that are still asking, the ultrasound is tomorrow, and I will get a video out about that on Tuesday.
There's a lot coming up this week, y'all. So
what else you got going on with Longhorns? You got any babies popping out?
No, I'm frustrated. I'm so darn frustrated. I feel like you and that darn Stormy. You go
just staring
every day. You go and you just watch.
Do you go touch your bag too and like scrub it and clean it and get it all prepared just in case?
I tried that once and
it didn't work out.
Well, that was not a Longhorn, but I just learned my lesson the first time. So now I do not. Jamie, I do not. But no, we are still waiting for Gracie, who's next in line. We're pretty sure it will be Gracie. What happened to Lester's eye? I'm old, everybody. I'm old, and what you see there are wrinkles. I hope that you're happy for drawing everyone's attention to my eyes.
It's okay.
One day you'll find yourself getting a few wrinkles, and they go in all the spots you don't want them. And some days are worse than others. Y'all ever notice that with wrinkles?
Yeah.
Some days wrinkles are worse than when you've gone through an entire day. You catch me in the morning, and you may not see these wrinkles. You catch me at 8 o'clock at night.
And you didn't wear a hat. That's a big difference for a live. I'm
surprised.
Yeah,
you catch me at 8 o'clock at night, and you'd be surprised at all the wrinkles you can find.
There's a lot of people that are asking about the kittens.
Look at that, Jamie. Can you do that with your head?
Yes. There.
All right. The kitten?
The kittens.
Yeah. Well, the mom has moved them upstairs. Now, luckily, they're not able to fall down through the walls like we had happen last year. But they are all living in our attic. So what we hear when we're trying to sleep is...
I just heard it.
You hear all kinds of stuff from kittens.
No, I just heard a little meow.
Yeah, they're all up in the loft. We're not going up there with you.
But I don't know why.
Well, it's better in the loft than under the brush hog where she was raising them.
Yeah.
So they were out in the pasture living under the brush hog.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm still feeding them out there. So she goes out there to eat and then comes back here. I don't know. They're still
nursing on her.
Yeah, I know.
So they're not eating on their own yet, even though they're probably old enough to.
Yeah.
which means we got to probably start putting food up
I'm
top.
putting food up there. She can bring them down.
Yeah. Will she?
Last
don't
time
know.
she ditched them. Like this is like a whole thing of like, why?
Yeah.
Why there? And like, who is daddy?
I don't know, but my biggest worry right now is like litter box worry,
Yeah.
because at some point moms keep all that cleaned up, but then they eventually stop.
Which is why I don't want to put food up there, because
yeah.
then they'll stay. If it gets to the point where she needs to bring them down.
Jamie, this is a fun question because I have no idea. How many cats in total do y'all have now? God. Oh my gosh. Every time I look around, there's a new cat, but we're not bringing cats in.
I think she has like 7 babies.
The last cat that we brought in was Uranus. That was the last cat we actually brought in. That was about a year ago, wasn't it? That's been a while.
Yeah.
Uranus was the last cat that we actually brought in. It was a rescue or a rehome. Aries, Uranus. Yeah, Aries. And
so we have Hank.
You're going to try to count them all?
Mabel.
Aries. Those are the inside cats. Those are the inside / outside cats
that come in for food and litter box.
Believe it or not, even Mr. Hank wants to go outside now. Hank has no claws, and he still wants to go outside and look around like he's one of the gang. Yeah. And I'm like, you're not one of the gang, Hank. You can't even climb a tree. He watches the squirrels, and he wants to chase the squirrels. And I'm like, Hank, what are you going to do when you catch them? Nothing. Now, in saying so, Mabel will chase squirrels down. She'll catch those little suckers.
Yes.
I'm like, Mabel is like a little beast.
Mabel is something else. Mabel is everywhere, but nowhere all at once. Yeah. And then when she comes in, she announces herself. So Lester will go outside to pee at 4 a.m. And when he comes back in, Mabel comes with him, but she's like singing the whole way in the door and into the bedroom. And like, yeah.
So we have a lot of cats, more than what we've ever,
listen, Mama Cat isn't our cat.
I'm embarrassed to say I don't know how many cats we have.
I think we have 8. I think we have 8 plus Mama and
here's
baby,
what we
so
don't
16.
have. We don't have mice. We don't have rats. We don't have snakes. And you know why we don't have any of those things? Because we have a lot of cats.
We barely have squirrels. They aren't in this close vicinity.
Well, there is one today by your greenhouse, and Mabel was chasing it all over the place.
That's what I mean. Like, it won't be there long.
It won't be there long. Yeah. So we love having our barn kitties. They really do. They don't eat much. They use the restroom outdoors. There's no litter box to change. They dig their own little hole to use the restroom in. And they do a wonderful job at keeping this place free of rats and mice.
I wish they could work harder at snakes. I wish they could work harder at the snake.
Well, hold on. We don't have any snakes out and about around, only in the pond on occasion.
I haven't seen any in a while.
I take care of those snakes, so we're fine.
And it was really more prominent when we were having all those heavy rains in the spring. They're probably coming out of the woods, to be real.
I'll just give you a quick little rundown. Of all of the big birds, Tat is the one we're having problems with. Tat, you heard me right. Tat is not only mean to Carl, but Tat's also mean to the littles, to the alpacas, to the pigs. And that breaks my heart for everybody because I really like Tat. He's like one of my favorite little characters, and I love him. But all the big birds are doing great, but Tat is starting to show a different side of maturity that I don't like. And I don't know why he thinks it's fun to be mean, because what he's doing is not trying to hurt them, but he's trying to run them. He likes to run them away from their food.
Yeah.
And even though he doesn't eat their food, Tat eats a different kind of food in a different location. But when he sees all the animals gather up, all the babies to eat, he wants to run them off. Why have I not videoed them eating a while? There you go, because of Tat. So we have to figure out what to do with Tat and how we're going to do this. I don't know. The pigs are doing wonderful. Our biggest worry with the pigs is that darn Pig Newton goes to the river every single day. And he doesn't come back home until night or till feed time in the late afternoons.
Pig Newton is living his best pig life.
Even Pig Trudy will go on occasion, but then she'll come back. But Pig Newton is like living in the woods.
What's crazy, though, is that he's fixed.
Yeah, he's fixed.
It is seriously like his innate, like, exploring thing that's part of his like DNA. That he's just
he's found. I think that you guys, most of y'all know, he's found one of the little creeks down there. The little not creek, the little spring.
Yeah,
he's found a spring, And he likes to go down and lay in that spring, that fresh
It's
spring
cool.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he sent him an Irish spring, and he just lays there all day and eats whatever he can find from roots and everything else. Now, don't worry. He still gets his meals every evening.
He comes to eat.
He comes home to eat.
But he loves the woods.
All of the goats are doing wonderful. Don't forget that we did send the Golden Girls with Randall and his fiance, and they're doing, along with Finn, and they're doing amazing. We don't have any goat babies right now, but the goat babies that we do have are a handful. They're really cute.
They are finding their way out every morning, and maybe you don't know this is happening because I do the morning chores out there. But Starbuck and the tater chips will find their way outside of the fence, and like they're eating what the ostriches have spilt, and then they go back in perfectly fine when it's time to go graze. But they come out every single morning.
Starla is Starla, and she's taught Starbuck some of her bad habits.
And Starbuck passed that right on to the tater chips.
And now the tater chips are doing it too. But as long as they go back in, we're fine. At some point, we will have to either band or have the little fellas worked on. But all the goats are doing great.
They have to be a certain age.
Yeah, they have to be a certain age. So it's too young now. And then, so I've talked about all of my babies here. Talking about your horses and donkeys. And don't forget Dinky Daryl.
Dinky Daryl is doing really great. Dinky Daryl is still madly in love with Rita from across the fence. But he's really happy. He has found a new bestie, though, in that pasture. And I made a video about it this morning. But he and Peggy Pig go everywhere together. Like, it is the most unusual, odd couple ever, but they go all the way out to the end of the pasture together, and Peggy Pig will lay down, and Dinky Daryl just grazes all around her, and when Dinky's ready to move to a new spot, Peggy Pig gets up and walks to the new spot and finds a place to lay down, and it is like the cutest little event that is happening out there.
Trivia question, I bet you forgot. What was Tat's name before we called him Tattletail or Tat?
I know his name.
You remembered?
Yes. I named him.
So he was Pat or P-Pat.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's the original P-Pat.
He is the
Well, not the original.
He's not the OG.
He was a P-Pat before we talked about P-Pat.
A lot of people knew.
You guys knew that. How do y'all remember so many things? We're so blessed. That is a true blessing when you have people who follow you around. I don't mean like that, but people who have followed you long enough to be a part, to put up with is a really good way to put it. I was just beside myself yesterday reading an email, and I've seen this before from people in comments, but how wonderful it is for the first time ever that there are people who can name an entire herd of cattle. Because, we all drive down the road. We all see cows on the side of the road, groups of cows here and there, and they're just cows. They're just cows. Yet ours, we never call them cows. They all have names, and you know their names, and you ask questions about individual cows. And a lady was saying in the email how her husband has learned all of their names because when he comes home from work, she talks about what's happening with this one or with that one. And so he's found it easier to sit down and watch the video with her
than to try to
catch up with her. And, so, and
that's adorable.
I apologize to him. And if y'all have a husband or if you're a man and you have a wife and y'all share things and your partner gets so tired of having to hear about something or another, I am so sorry. But I'm also not sorry. I think it's wonderful. And we're so very blessed to be able to be a part of that with you guys. So in a way, you guys invite us into your homes, into your phones, and we like it there. I know I do.
Yes, absolutely.
So, well, listen, I think that we just crossed our hour. So if you guys don't mind, if there's no more direct questions, we are family. Absolutely. Yes, we are family. Thank you all. I love that. We'll figure out what to do with Tat. I don't want to worry you all about it, but here's what I will say, that we're not going to do anything that's going to ever put him in a bad situation, ever, never. We will always find a way. We have plenty of separated pastures here that we can do. I just don't want to see him by himself if I can help it, but I'm hoping it's just a phase, and we'll see. So I'm done. Jamie, wrap it up for us. Let's get off of here. I'm going to go put on some wrinkle cream, I think. Can I have some wrinkle cream?
Sure. I'll pass them along. We can share. Y'all, thanks so much for being a part of our family and our journey and supporting us. There's a lot of content that will come out this week, and a lot of big things happening around here too. Say some prayers of gratefulness for baby Jacob, or Jake. What did you call him? Little Jake.
Jakey.
And for Alyssa and for Jake, Big Jake. Oh, we have to call him Big Jake now.
We are not calling him Big Jake. Jake's about 5'4". We're not going to call him Big Jake. That would if we call him Big Jake.
You're just sad that nobody calls you Big Lester.
Yeah, if they're not going to call me Big Lester, or
you're Middle Lester, actually. That's the funniest part of the whole thing is that
I'm the biggest Lester. I'm bigger than my dad and
yeah,
Ellie,
but the age-wise, you're the Middle Lester.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
I'm Middle Lester.
Y'all have a fabulous night. Thank you so much for loving us and
putting up with us.
We hope you stay safe and stay well, and we will catch you on the next video.
I'm going to play this one more time for everybody who missed
I'm going to tell Facebook good night. We love you.
We love you guys.
I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. Come here. I'm going to get him. Come here, you. Come here. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. Come here.
Look at the hair.
I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him, Mama. I'm going to get this boy. I go this way. I'm going to go this way. Ha
How old are they?
I'm going to go this way. Come here. Come here. Oh, I'm going to go this way. Ha
Oh, no. Let's go. There you go.
I'm going to get him. Come here, you.
That's not a year old.
Whoa.
Play on the field. Fourth down situation for the Chargers.
That's my boy.
That's my boy.
That's my
Good night,
boy, guys.
Thank y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Don't you show
Pass
off.
complete to number